Should you come? This is going to be by My Abundant, the expat mom from Canada who moved to Vietnam. It's pretty cool. Let's check it out. I hear a lot of things about Da Nang recently, and it sounds like it's getting overcrowded. It's changing. There's a whole bunch of YouTubers, like about a year ago, that were trying to tell everybody how easy it is there, how great it is there, and then Evan A just dipped out and moved to Saigon all of a sudden, so he's not even there anymore, and he was the one pushing it hard. It's interesting. Will Travels is there. He's awesome, but at the same time, I don't know, they're selling you a pipe dream. Let's see what she has to say. I think she's going to tell us the truth about what's going on today. All right.
Everyone's suddenly moving to Da Nang, Vietnam. If you've been scrolling lately, you'll seen it. Families, creators, and digital nomads is all talking about this city like it's paradise. The beaches, the prices, the lifestyle, the freedom. But is it really as perfect as it looks online? Or is Da Nang just another trending destination that people will rush into and regret later? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why everyone's coming here, what's changing this year, and what life Da Nang actually feels like after 2 full years of living here with my family. And stick around because I'll share the part that no one talks about. The one thing that makes people either fall in love with Da Nang forever or pack their bags and leave.
It's I'm telling you, it's kind of like a little Miami, right? On the beach, and you can get a fully furnished apartment, not very big or anything, but something decent for $500 a month. Food is super cheap if you eat like a local, but there's this huge section of town that expats don't really live in. I don't know. I think they might start to creep out there, but let's see. I don't know.
Hey, I'm Ma, your global living friend and lifestyle design abroad mentor. I'm a Canadian-born Hmong mom of 2, now living in Da Nang, Vietnam with my husband, Tuck. We sold everything in Canada to build a freedom-based life abroad, and 2 years later, we're still here, raising our kids by the beach, homeschooling, and building online income while watching the waves roll in. But Da Nang this year is not the same city it was when we first arrived. It's growing fast, and depending on what kind of life you want, that can either be exciting or overwhelming. So let's break it down. Exactly why are so many people moving here? What's driving the hype and who the city is really right for? Number 1, the new wave of people moving to Da Nang. So 5 years ago, Da Nang was a quiet coastal secret. Now it's one of Vietnam's fastest growing cities for expats and digital workers. You got families escaping high costs from Canada, the US, and Europe, couples working remotely, solo creators filming their next Move to Vietnam vlogs. What's interesting is that this isn't just a backpacker crowd anymore. It's professionals, people who want stability, safety, and better cost of living without giving up the comfort. So yes, Da Nang is trending, but it's trending for good reasons. Number 2, the lifestyle, simple, safe, and slower. Most people who move here aren't chasing luxury, they're chasing peace. The morning starts slow, locals on the beach at sunrise, people exercising, families having coffee by the sea. It's a rhythm that feels calm.
Yeah, I heard it's kind of busy all day though. As soon as the sun comes up, this is a Vietnam thing in general. As soon as the sun comes up, all the way until the sun goes down, and even past that, it's not really a huge bar scene or club scene. It's kind of in a small little area. It's not Miami, for instance, just because it looks like it. But slower pace for Vietnam certainly. But I've seen the traffic, videos and everything out there. Certain parts of the day, certain times of the day, certain times of the year, it's definitely dead, but I've seen it busy, that's for sure.
But productive.
Motorbikes.
There's also very little crime, traffic is manageable, and you can actually hear yourself think here. That's why so many people are leaving big cities like Saigon and Bangkok to settle here. The balance of simplicity and comfort is hard to find anywhere else. Number 3, the cost of living. Still affordable.
All right, is she gonna do what everyone else was doing too? Selling this pipe dream that is a perfect little paradise? Because, I don't know, I've heard otherwise from other YouTubers. I don't know. It's changing and not necessarily for the better, but I don't know. She seems to really like it. That's fine.
This year. Now let's talk numbers. Yes, prices has gone up since 2023, but it's still very affordable for what you get. Here's what you can expect in Da Nang right now. So like a 2-bedroom apartment near the beach could be around $600 to $900 USD a month.
That's gone
Local
up.
meals could be
Like
about
6
$2 to
months.
$3. Coffees,
Yeah, that's
$1.50. Utilities and Wi-Fi is around $80 a month. Massages
more than
are
I've
about
heard.
$10 to $15. For single people, you can live
What's up?
well on $800 to $1,000 a month. For
Sure.
a family, expect around $1,800 to $2,200 for a very comfortable lifestyle. That's still half of what you spend for the same quality of life in
That's like
Canada
rent,
or
you
the
know?
US. Number 4, the freedom. Digital income and location independence. One of the biggest reasons people move here is freedom.
Yeah, but what she's not going to mention, because it's like, a lot of these YouTubers, they sound like they work for the government. It's ridiculous, but like the wrong part of the government that I'm going to talk about. Like, there's parts that are clamping down on all this like digital nomad stuff, and they want their money. The banks don't work with you very well. You're not going to be getting visas. You know, even like the whole idea of working at an English teaching center, for instance, that's gone out the door. It used to be like 10 years ago, a great way to make a lot of money, working half the amount of hours, and just chilling. Not the case anymore from what I've heard. Yeah, you're going to have to go on border runs, and they're going to be clamping down on those border runs here soon. You know, Vietnam's not fucking around. You know, they're changing their laws just like Thailand. They're kind of sick and tired of this.
Consulting, digital products. And Da Nang gives you everything you need for that life. Fast internet, low distractions, affordable rent, endless inspiration from beach to mountains. It's a perfect creative base for anyone who wants to design their own work-life rhythm. You can focus, build, and still have time to actually live.
Yeah, keep your windows closed too, because there's a lot of honking. It's still noisy. This is Vietnam, guys.
Number 5, the community. Small, supportive, and growing fast. If you watch my videos,
You know, I wouldn't have to be the devil's advocate if all these people would just be honest with you from the get-go. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of BS artists that are telling you that it's super easy to go out there, get your visa, get a nice, comfy job. No, dude. No. It's not the case.
I love the community here. Nang expat scene is different. It's not touristy or pretentious. You'll find families, long-term expats, remote workers, local Vietnamese who are genuinely welcoming. There are weekly meetups.
Okay, if you have kids, it's probably easy to find other expats with kids or locals that have kids that like speak English and are just open to, you know, having these kind of moments. Great. But if you're a single person or you're a couple and you're younger and you don't have kids or anything, I've heard the opposite. Like the whole expat scene, like it's just weird over there. It's not this fairy tale, you know? And locals, yeah, they'll sell stuff to you and all that, but you're not going to be part of their society, really. You're not going to get to know them. Like, learning Vietnamese is a very hard language. There's people that have lived here for years that still barely scratch the surface.
Cafe groups, creative clubs, and family events. People really help each other here. It's big enough to find your people, but small enough that you'll still bump into them at the same coffee shop or on the beach. Number 6, the growth, more cafes, school, and infrastructure. Da Nang is changing fast and mostly for the better. There are new schools, co-working spaces, international restaurants, and boutique hotels opening every month. The airport's expanding, Wi-Fi's faster, and you can find almost anything you need locally now. But with growth comes adjustments. Construction noise, higher rent, and
Yeah, I heard the construction noise is wild. And if you're out there and you're trying to find an apartment, do not take the apartment or sign up for the Airbnb for a month or whatever before you go there, because there's a huge mold problem being right next to the ocean with the quality of construction that happens. Some buildings are built great and are totally well aired out and dry and they're fine. But if you're sensitive, first of all, there's a lot of garbage burning that goes on everywhere over there. But there's also just pollution and mold that's growing in these houses and these apartments. So be careful, check them out beforehand. You know, have your sniffer ready, and I don't know. It's not peaches and cream, y'all.
Popular areas and more tourists during peak months. It's not the sleepy surf town it once was, but that's what happens when the world catches on. Number 7, the wealthier reality, paradise with a pause. People see the beach and assume it's sunny all year round. Let me stop you right there. It's not. Da Nang has 2 clear seasons. So the dry season is March to April, beautiful, bright, and beach perfect. And then there's rain season, October to January, gray, wet, and sometimes rough.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Yeah, she's right. It's crazy how the seasons change over there in Southeast Asia. I prefer it. I like it. You know, snow is nice and all, but like, man, you feel it in your bones and just, I don't know. You got to have the heater on and all that. I don't really like that. I prefer like that KL heavy rain, you know, that's nice. It's like that Mediterranean thunderstorm that rolls through at night if you've stayed anywhere along the coast out there. That Costa Rican rainy season is very similar to that. Yeah, the equatorial regions are all very similar, you know. Yeah. I don't know. Da Nang sounds like it's changed and it's not worth it anymore. Just go somewhere else.
In October, there was serious flooding, closed schools, and quiet streets for weeks. But after the rain, everything turns lush again. The beaches reset, the air clears, and the city feels brand new. If you want the best version of Da Nang, come between April and August. Number 8, the challenges. Not for everyone. Let's be honest, Da Nang isn't perfect. If you need consistent nightlife, big malls, or endless social events, you might find it too quiet. If you hate humidity or rainy days, you might struggle during rain months. And while the city's growing, it's still developing. Some services move slower and language barrier can test your patience. But if you want peace, safety, and more time for yourself and your family, Da Nang delivered. Now, we still need to talk about why this moment right now is such a turning point for Da Nang. But before we get into that, hit that subscribe button if you're serious about creating a life of freedom abroad. I post new videos every week about relocation, homeschooling, and designing a life beyond the 9 to 5. Number 9, why this year is a turning point for Da Nang. Da Nang is a crossroads right now. It's no longer the hidden secret it used to be, but it also is not fully commercialized.
Well, in Vietnam is building a huge new train system from the north to the south. Da Nang's right there in the middle. It's just gonna really change things a lot.
It's that sweet in between where there's still space for you to build something meaningful, a business, a community, or just a slower, freer life. More remote workers are arriving. Families are realizing they can give their kids a simpler life here. And locals are adapting fast, embracing the mix of cultures and opportunities that come with this wave.
Things are completely different for her because she's Vietnamese. So her family came from Vietnam and she's allowed to come back to Vietnam. It's a lot easier than what all other expats are going to go through.
So yes, Da Nang is changing, but it's evolving, not fading. So after 2 years of living here, I get it now. At first, I didn't understand why people kept saying Da Nang feels like home. I thought it was just another beach city, but over time I realized what makes it special isn't just the scenery, it's the energy. It's the mornings when locals offer you coffee with a smile, the quiet evenings when your kids play outside and you feel completely safe. It's a mix of modern and simple that just works. Da Nang reminds you that life doesn't have to be fast to be fulfilling. And that's why people come and stay. If you're thinking about moving abroad or creating a lifestyle with more freedom, Da Nang is still one of the best places to start. But don't just dream about it, plan for it. Join my free community, the Abundant Living.
Yeah, it's one of those places you definitely want to visit first, from what I hear. Visit there, go back home, think about it. Don't just like sell everything in your life and try to move to Da Nang of all places. You know? It'd just be crazy.
Collective works packs chatting about a life abroad. And if you want weekly updates and digital income advice, subscribe to My Notes, my newsletter for freedom seekers and families abroad. And if you would like to support my channel, join my YouTube membership. Everything's linked below. And that's all for today's video. If you love this one, watch my video. Is Da Nang still worth it? Next, it's the perfect follow-up if you're deciding whether the city is for you long-term. Join the movement to redefine your life, your home, your income, your education, and your freedom abroad. Until next time, live free.
All right, not too bad. You know, she's she lives there. She's speaking her truth, which I respect. It's different than the research I've done as far as what it's going to be like if you're not Vietnamese. Yeah, you're gonna have a harder time, man. Yeah, it's all fun and games until you're there for a couple of months and you got to go do a visa run, and that takes time, and it's not always fun to go through the borders because they're changing the laws and the banks don't work with you well. You got to make sure you get the right SIM card and all that, unless you have Verizon like myself and you just have international everywhere you go in the world. I don't know if there's something like that in Europe or the UK, but I don't know. Yeah, you know, I wish you just went a little bit more in depth instead of just like running through a list of things. I don't know. She just felt a little shallow. I have a feeling she could do better. You know, constructive criticism. Just flesh it out a little bit more. Maybe fewer bullet points, and you know, share kind of, you know, other people's perspectives of the negatives, because it's not necessarily the things that we want in life that we have to worry about. It's best to like make a list of things that you don't want and then go from there, in my experience. Or like you're happier when you figure out what you don't want when you go somewhere. You're like, this kind of bothers me, or I wish I didn't have to deal with that. You know, it makes it easier to eliminate places that have that aspect or that hurdle, and go from there. But people are nice, of course. She's a nice one. She's real cool.